Star Union Memorial. Let's go back to
Saturday, January 21st, 2017, 8:26 a.m. Look at it.
Hey guys, good morning. And yes, this is all raising money for the over 7,300 Special Olympics athletes we have here in the state of Maryland. I'm going to give you a lay of the land before we come back to you guys later in the show. Now, we are tallying the money that is coming in. At this point, we have over $1,600, and that's all from donations people have called in from home. And to introduce some of the people that are catching some of these donations, we see the team that is manning the phone this morning. We've had donations come in as little as $25 all the way up to, I think, $300 is the largest that we've gotten. So large amounts that they've been coming in varying intervals. Coming up a little bit later this show, we're going to give you we're going to show you what this cause is about and show you how you guys can get involved at home. But for right now, I'm going to send it back to you guys.
Can't wait for that. Thanks, Omar. The time now is 8:28, and it's 46 degrees on TV Hill. Here's a look at what's coming up next this morning.
President Donald Trump sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. We'll have much more on yesterday's inaugural event straight ahead. Now we've seen a little fog this morning and rain.
I'm Rick Witter. Again, thanks for watching us. If you're heading out today, be safe.
What connects us?
Nice to meet you. How are you?
It's about people.
We couldn't ask for better weather today, right?
It's about knowing what's going on.
Look at me. I'm filming this.
In your community.
I love it. I could do this.
Where you live.
Want to hire me?
How proud are you to be a part of this?
There's one television station that covers the stories that affect you every single day. What connects us?
It's WJZ.
The Secret Life of Pets.
Want a TV experience that gives you more? With the fastest in-home Wi-Fi and the
American and Union Memorial Phone Bank for the 21st Annual Maryland State Police Polar Bear Plunge benefiting Special Olympics Maryland. You can support this event by calling the number on your screen. Your donation will transform the lives of more than 7,000 Special Olympic athletes. The phone bank is open until 10 a.m. today. Call now. You'll be glad you did.
Make it your resolution to kick off 2017 right with a new ride from Sheehy. During the Sheehy Nissan New Year, New Ride sales event. And right now get 0% on 11 new Nissan models or a new Altima from just $16,995 or a new Rogue from just $18,995. It's easy at Sheehy. Stop by Sheehy Nissan in Glen Burnie or White Marsh.
This is WBAL TV 11 News Saturday morning.
Good morning. Welcome to 11 News Saturday morning. I'm Jennifer Franciati.
Good morning. I'm Lacey Griffith. We're going to get to our top stories in just a moment. But first, we're going to take another look outside with Mary Marshall. Earlier, we couldn't see anything. Are things starting to clear up from the fog?
In some areas, but fog is still out there this morning. So if you're heading out, just be aware that fog will greet you. We have a dense fog advisory still in effect for at least the next 30 minutes. That'll cover the northern tip of Harford and Baltimore counties, along with the northern tip of Howard County and Carroll County. All of it included within that. A few clouds out there is the Doppler. Not expecting much more than drizzle, fog and mist, and then drizzle for the rest of the afternoon in some locations. Rain chance is better tonight after 10 p.m. We'll see high temperatures in the 50s. It's 47 now in TV Hill. 55 today, cloudy with drizzle possible. Well, coming up, we'll take a look at other temperatures around the region, and we'll also track rain heading our way along with breezy conditions. Well, we start the weekend with a brand new president of the United States. President Donald Trump took the oath of office at noon yesterday, once again marking a successful transfer of power.
Athena Jones has a closer look at the president's inauguration speech and the festivities that followed.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Donald Trump sworn in as the 45th President of the United States, delivering a fiery inaugural address, painting a
You live in the UK. How do you interpret that?
Well, you know, I believe that you can only solve, you know, international conflicts and problems through cooperation.
Placing that fish in the mouth
And
just slowly pressing down until they feel that.
Saturday, January 21st, 2017, 10:10 a.m. I said it twice because I just hit the record button on that. But they turned it down as low as a negative 0.1. You know that. You've seen the videos, and they turned it as high as a 33.2. Premeditated attempted murder continues, and of course those pathetic no-life having pervert bitches continue with those dreams, thinking if I dream about it, I'm gonna go out and act on it. You can see the levels. Stay tuned.
That's exactly what we wanted to see.
Blue showed us he was ready to be returned to the wild because he met 3 of our criteria. He got a clean bill of health from our veterinarian team. He had gained enough weight to be a healthy weight that could thrive out in the wild. And he proved to us he could be a competitive eater and forage for live fish. And with that, it was time to return Blue back home.
Just about 8 weeks after Blue's rescue, his SeaWorld family says its goodbyes. Along with several other rescued pups, he'll be heading out to sea aboard a SeaWorld boat. They arrive at a lush kelp forest teeming with fish off the coast of San Diego.
You can't wait to get the hell off of that boat.
It's exciting that Blue is down in his. That's where he belongs. He started off his life really rough. His mom abandoned him for unknown reasons. It is heartwarming to know that he is now able to take care of himself out in that big ocean.
Coming up, this unfortunate turtle has been attacked by sharks.
Having been in a really weakened and lethargic state, it made her easy prey for sharks.
Can it bring Big Mama the sea turtle back from the brink?
On the center of your pancake. Add a little bit of our filling right down.
Fence to the miter gauge, and then clamp a stop block to one end. Now all of the work pieces fit in here, and they can all be cut, and you're sure they're the same length. The issue, of course, is clamping the stop block in place. It's kind of a lot of fumbling around. So the solution to that we've come up with starts by attaching a piece of T-track to the top of the fence. Now what is T-track? Well, it gets its name because it's a piece of extruded aluminum with a T shape extruded into it. And then that fits on top of the fence. And what it does is hold the head of a hex head bolt conveniently, and that slides right in here. This particular T-track is also designed to hold the head of a flange bolt, and it slides right in here. Now, either one of these bolts allows me to attach all kinds of accessories to this fence. But there's a couple of issues before I attach the T-track. On the fence itself, I cut a small rabbet along the bottom edge. This acts as a sawdust relief. So as I bring my workpiece out, if there's any sawdust on my table saw, as I pull it back, that sawdust has a place to go in that sawdust relief, so I don't goof up the position of my workpiece. The second thing is that I've added some adhesive-backed sandpaper to the face of the fence. That keeps my workpiece nice and steady and stable and doesn't slide around as I'm making a cut. So now I'm ready to attach the T-track. However, there's one more issue here, and that is that we use Baltic birch plywood typically in the shop for all kinds of jigs, but particularly for a fence like this, Baltic birch plywood is very stable and remains pretty flat and doesn't warp. However, it's manufactured at 18 millimeters thick, slightly less than 3/4 of an inch. Well, the T-track is 3/4 of an inch thick. So when I attach it, I want to make sure that the front edge of the T-track is flush with the sandpaper on the front of the fence. That means that there will be a slight lip, about a 32nd of an inch, on the back side. Well, once this T-track is screwed down, I'll have a fence that looks like this. Well, the whole purpose of the fence with the T-track on top is to attach a stop block. Now, the stop block that we've come up with is pretty simple. It's just a block of wood And then on the back side, we've attached another piece to act as a lift. And that lift this T-track and fence. Now this just simply starts out as a block, and then we cut off one end. Now we've pre-drilled an oversized hole here, for it's a 5/16 inch hole for the 1/4 inch bolt that's going to fit inside. What that does is allow a little bit of wiggle room and adjustment space as we attach and fasten down the stop block to the T-track. So once that hole is drilled, then we add it and glue it on to the other block. Now the final step is to knock off the corners here of this block that supplies some sawdust relief. And then there's one more little detail that's kind of cool. We've added a screw on the edge of the stop block, and that will serve as a micro adjust later on. We'll see how that works in a little bit. So then the stop block is just mounted on top of the T-track. We take the hex head bolt, slide it into the T-track, then put the block on top, and now that's just attached with first a washer, and then I'm using a little plastic knob. You can use any nut that'll just hold it down, but this is handy. And now I can put that on top. I can slide, stop anywhere I want, and notice as I slide, it doesn't bind up. That's because I've made sure that the block doesn't seat all the way on the table saw surface. There's a little bit of room there. So as I slide the block back and forth, or as I'm making a cut, that block doesn't bind on the surface of the table saw. It also provides a little bit of sawdust relief. That completes our stop block attached to the T-track. Now we just have to fasten this fence to our miter gauge. So let me remove this old fence, we'll attach this fence, and then we'll see how this whole setup works. So why did I cut this kerf in the fence before I ever started working on an actual workpiece? Well, as I bring this fence up, you can see that that kerf is exactly where the saw blade is going to cut. So now I can make very accurate cuts. So let's say I'm working on a project and I measure on that project that I need 3 pieces 9 inches long. Well, that depends a little bit on my ability to actually made a good measurement. I take that measurement, transfer it to the edge of the workpiece with a pencil mark, then align that pencil mark with the saw blade. All of that is fraught with problems, could be with errors. So instead of going through this measuring, marking, aligning process, I can short circuit that by just coming up with my tape measure, moving my stop block over to exactly to that curve, exactly where I know the saw blade is going to cut. And I'll make it a strong 9 inches in this case, a little bit more than I need. Lock down my stop block, and then before I cut my actual work pieces, I'll actually make a cut in a test piece. Turn on the saw, move the test piece up against the stop block, and make the cut. So there are a couple of things going on here. First of all, as we made the cut, you saw that the fence pushed this waste piece all the way through and away from the blade. That's a good thing. So we get it out of the way. The second is the fence backed up my cut, so on the back side of this, there's no splintering on my workpiece. Another good thing. So now I can take this test piece and go to my project and see if it fits. Now probably it's going to be a little bit too long, and that's what I intended. So I can come back here to the stop block and use that screw head to make a micro adjust. I'll just unscrew it a half turn or so, and then I can make a second trim cut. So after making this cut, I can take my test piece to the project, check it, and see if I've got a perfect fit. And I'll keep going back and forth from the project to micro-adjusting with the screw head until my test piece fits in the project perfectly. When I've done that, now I can switch over to my actual work pieces, push the end of the workpiece up against the screw on the stop lock, and make the cut. The second piece, push it against the screw on the stop lock, and make the second cut. And finally, cut the third piece. So how did we do? Well, let's take a look at our three pieces here. All of them cut to an identical length, no chip out on the back. And we did it all with a pretty simple setup. A plywood fence, the sandpaper attached to the front so the work pieces don't slip around, a T-track on top, and that holds an adjustable stop lock, and then we've added a screw for a micro adjust. And all of that produces multiple cuts and multiple pieces, all for a perfect fit.
Edges on the project are a little too sharp. Now most projects, it's the details that set things off, and that's really true when it comes to the edges. Now when you finish up things, they're usually pretty sharp. They actually don't feel all that good when you touch the project, and they can actually get dinged and damaged a little more easily. So we like to take care of those by sometimes sanding, but in most cases we'll install a small round over bit in the router table, and we'll route all those long edges. It really sets things off.
Yep. And it really doesn't take that much either. Besides making the edges more friendly, it actually gives it another level of detail to the project. However, there are some parts of a project that just don't lend themselves well to routing. You can see that on these exposed through tenons here. The tenon is raised up from the work surface, so it's pretty difficult to be able to set up a router bit.
Right. You have to raise it above the table to get it just right, make some test cuts, and actually it can be hard to back up this edge here. You tend to get some chip out. Now, if you have a tenon like this where it's symmetrical, now you can do it, but if you have offset edges and all that, it means multiple bit settings, and it's just more of a hassle to do. There's actually some faster, simpler solutions.
And the tools for that couldn't be easier. You can use something like an ordinary file or even a sanding block to just gently ease those edges. Remember, you're not looking to do a lot here. The only thing is as you're working, you want to take your time to make sure that all those roundovers are nice and consistent and smooth as you're working.
And the nice thing is, you have the time to do it because you're controlling it. You don't have a bit that's spinning there at 20,000 RPM taking off material. You can actually spend some quiet time in the shop, finish up your project, and enjoy it a little bit more.
A great way to spend some time in the shop is making small boxes. It's also an ideal way to use up some of the scrap that you have from larger projects. One of the challenges that I run into when I'm making boxes like this is finding appropriately scaled hardware and components. For example, feet that I want to put on the bottom of a box. It's tough to find something that's available that matches the size of a small box. But I found a different solution, and that solution is to use button plugs. Now typically you'd use these plugs to cover up screw holes in the joints of a project. But for a box, they work great. All you need to do is drill a shallow hole on the bottom of the box, and then just apply some glue and tap in the button plug. What's nice is that the button plugs come in a range of sizes, and I've also found that in case the bottom of my box isn't quite even, I can put some sandpaper down and just sand it back and forth a few times. The small contact area means that the box will quickly get flattened up. It's a great way to dress up your box projects.
I hope you got a lot of good tips from today's show. Get more free video tips and techniques. It's all in our free week.
That would be Roanoke, that's it. A 1905 novel titled An Eye for an Eye was written by Whatman, later the defense attorney in the Scopes monkey trial. Yeah, Hammond.
Darrow.
Clarence Darrow it is, yes indeed, Kevin. Next, there are 13 people in what Leonardo da Vinci painting depicting North County?
Last Supper. Last Supper.
The Last Supper, we will take that. Yes indeed, Jack. Next, 30 points. Everyone look at your monitors. This 16th century portrait titled The Moneylender and His Wife was painted in Antwerp, now the second largest city in what European? Yes, Old Mill.
Germany.
Belgium. Belgium was the right answer. Next. A novel titled The Chemist is the most recent work by what author of the best-selling Twilight series? Hammond. Meyer is right. Thank you, Tristan. What trigonometric function equals the product of the sine and the secant? Hammond. Tangent is right, yes. The North Magnetic Pole, as opposed to the Geographic Pole, was located in 1831 by what explorer who gave his name to Antarctica's vast ice shelf? Yes, Old Mill. Ross is right, Salil. Next, 30 points. Everyone look at your monitors. In tough times, everyone has to take their share of the pain. This was the rather grim wording of what woman the current Prime Minister of Great Britain? Old Mill. May. Theresa May is right. Among the many memorials to John F. Kennedy is a library in what African country once headed by Emperor Haile Selassie? Old Mill. Ethiopia. Ethiopia is right, Salil. The buzzer has rung. Our game is over. We will be right back.
The Black History Oratory Competition, part of WJZ's community commitment.
WJZ invites high school students to select one of these quotes by
Harriet Tubman, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., or Dr. Carla Hayden.
And write an original essay. Enter by January 25th. Go to cbsbaltimore.com/oratory.
Sponsored by Toyota Financial Services, the Enoch Pratt Free Library, Morgan State University, and the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
It's WJZ.
What connects us?
Good to see you.
It's about people.
What goodies do you have here?
It's about knowing